Ray Brown's Talking Birds.
Made possible by the generous support of the Birdwatchers General Store, Orleans, Cape Cod. Birdwatchersgeneralstore.com.
By Vortex Optics with the VIP warranty. Their unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. Learn more at vortexoptics.com. And by Hog Island Audubon Camp. For full camp schedule, program details, and to register, visit hogisland.audubon.org.
Welcome to our show, number 1055, whether you're listening in the morning, afternoon, or evening by radio, live stream, podcast, or through talkingbirds.com. On our show today, we'll talk with the American Bird Conservancy's Dr. Christine Shepard about a bill in the U.S. House of Representatives that could help reduce the staggering numbers of bird window collisions. Plus, we'll review some Mike O'Connor myth-bustin' for birds, and we'll hear an audio postcard from a very birdie place in southeast Arizona. I want to start with a thank you to the great Jeff Hall and all our friends at the Audubon Society of Rhode Island for hosting us so graciously when we aired our show last week from their sensational Raptor weekend. And special thanks to Candy and Chris Powell. Meanwhile, could everyone pull out their calendars, please? Okay. As you can see, September 21st is a Sunday. What your calendar may not indicate is that September 21st is also Sun Day, an international celebration of the power of clean energy. One of the cool events taking place leading up to the day is the EV Parade on the 19th at the U.S. Capitol, featuring solar-powered electric cars, bikes, and scooters, and sending the message that solar is here, it's clean, and it's cheap, and that Congress must help or get out of the way. If you're in the D.C. area and are hearing our show on or before the parade on the 19th, you could check it out. And information about all the Sunday events is easily found online at sunday.earth. Well, here comes that audio postcard from some friends in the sunny Southwest.
Good morning, Ray. This is Gordon and
Lori Land.
And we're at the birding trail at Patagonia Lake. And as you can hear, it's kind of a busy morning here. It's about 8 in the morning. And we're hearing yellow-breasted chat, a lot of them. White-winged dove, cardinal, yellow-billed cuckoo, Lucy's warbler, Bewick's wren, just a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, summer tanager. Maybe a dozen birds calling right now, and half of them sound like a chat. Anyway, if you ever decide to come down here, make sure you get here early in the morning. 1, because it gets quite warm, and 2, in another hour or so, it's going to be very, very quiet. Anyway, happy birding, everybody. ABB, as Laurie says.
Always be birding. I think I see the Tyranulette.
Ooh, let's look for the Tyranulette. Okay, bye, Ray.
Straight.
Bye-bye, Gordon and Lori. They're in Patagonia in Arizona with an audio postcard. We love getting them. I know folks love hearing them. To make one, just grab your phone or some device like that and record what you're seeing for 30 seconds to a minute or so. And then just send the file to ray@talkingbirds.com. That's ray@talkingbirds.com. Here's a preview of our mystery bird contest, a pretty familiar sounding bird here. Two of them there, as a matter of fact. That's a preview of the contest. Later on, we'll have the actual thing. Our mystery bird is a raptor, and a fairly large and large-headed member of the Strigidae, or Strigidae family. It has large brown eyes, concentric rings around its pale face, no ear tufts. Its underparts are whitish with dark bars and streaks on the breast and belly. Our bird is a year-round resident all over the eastern half of the U.S., as well as parts of the Northwest and up through much of Canada. It hunts from an elevated perch and swoops down to catch prey like squirrels and mice, as well as amphibians and reptiles and birds. That would be our mystery bird. The mystery bird contest coming along in just a bit. Beautiful prizes just in time for fall feeding. We have a great feeder. It's the Brome Squirrel Solution 150. It is genuinely squirrel-proof and chew-proof, too. It's easy to clean, and it features a vented seed tray, which helps keep the seed fresh and dry. That's pretty important. We also have something that's just terrific. It's a Birding by Ear course from Larkwire. The Larkwire app. They're highly customizable, game-based courses with ID tips from some of the world's best birders and a really effective approach to learning. This is a course, or these are a series of courses. It is a series of courses that let you master bird sounds and have fun doing it. Prizes there on our Mystery Bird Contest, and we're talking about bird collisions today. If we get to our bonus question, we also have that feather-friendly bird window collision kit so that birds will not crash into your windows. That's all coming up here on the Mystery Bird Contest. We are so grateful to continue to be able to thank folks who are becoming Talkin' Birds ambassadors, helping us get the word out. And thank you to Marcia O'Bara from Tucson, Arizona. She says, I've been a fan and listener for a while. Now I want to spread the Talkin' Birds word to my bird walks. Oh, thank you, Marcia. And if her name sounds familiar, Marcia was a guest on our August 31st show, number 1053, talking about those bird walks, accessible birding outings that she leads for the Tucson Bird Alliance. Well, Talkin' Birds listeners, we need you to help us do what we do, which is to get the word out about the wonder of birds and the vital importance of conservation to as many folks as we possibly can. Being a Talkin' Birds ambassador really is easy, and so is signing up to be one by clicking on the Get Involved tab at talkinbirds.com. That's talkinbirds.com. Still to come today, we'll talk with the director of the American Bird Conservancy's Bird Collisions campaign, Dr. Christine Shepard. Also today, Mike O'Connor will join us for a Let's Ask Mike almost live from the archive segment about bird myths that need to be busted. And up next, a bird that's best viewed from a reasonable distance is this week's featured feathered friend. BBC Wildlife magazine recently published a list of what they consider to be the world's most dangerous birds. Birds like the bearded vulture and the harpy eagle. The website of the San Diego Zoo suggests that the most dangerous bird of all is today's featured feathered friend, the southern cassowary. This large, flightless bird of northern Australian and New Guinean forests looks like a compacted, heavy-set ostrich with bristly black body feathers, a blue face, a long neck, and two red wattles hanging down along its throat. It has a horn-like brown casque or helmet measuring up to nearly 7 inches high and a matching length bill. Males and females look similar, but the female is dominant and larger with a longer casque, larger bill, and brighter colored bare parts. The southern cassowary is especially dangerous because each of its 3-toed feet is equipped with a 4-inch-long dagger-like claw that can slice open a potential opponent with a single swift kick. And escaping from that kick presents a challenge for most any foe. The southern cassowary can run through dense forest undergrowth at more than 30 miles an hour. Cassowaries are the only modern birds that have been recorded killing humans in combat in the wild, although it's considered likely that such killings have occurred often in New Guinea, where the birds are hunted. In 2019, a Florida man was killed by the cassowary he was keeping as a pet. Despite its fierceness, the southern cassowary has a diet of mostly vegetable matter. It forages on the forest floor for fallen fruit and seeds, some of which are toxic to other animals. They also eat fungi and some insects and snails, as well as fish, frogs, and small birds. With ongoing habitat loss, partly due to logging, limited range, and overhunting in some areas, the southern cassowary population in Australia is listed as endangered. But in 2018, the overall population was evaluated as least concern by the International Union for Conservation of Nature. The leading candidate for the designation as the world's most dangerous bird. Today's Talkin' Birds featured feathered friend, Cassowaries, the southern cassowary. Dr. Christine Shepard earned her BA and PhD at Cornell. Her first job was at the Bronx Zoo, where she started as an intern and ended as curator of birds. Since 2009, she's been the director of the American Bird Conservancy's Glass Collisions program. She established ABC's glass testing and evaluation program, which is the foundation for a LEED, L-E-E-D, credit for reducing bird collisions. She published Bird-Friendly Building Design in 2011, along with the second edition. She helped create San Francisco's standards for bird-safe buildings and has consulted on bird-friendly legislation with more than 25 jurisdictions, from the federal level to towns across the United States. She joins us now to tell us about a bill in the U.S. House aimed at addressing one part of the bird collision issue. It's called the Federal Bird Safe Buildings Act of 2025. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Thanks for letting us have you. I say that backwards. Before I ask you about the bill, let me back up just a bit to kind of review the incident level of bird collisions in general. We're talking about something beyond millions per year in the U.S. alone.
Yeah, absolutely. It's almost unbelievable. We believe that there are more than 1 billion mortalities every year. This was initially based on a Smithsonian analysis of data from cities, museums across the country. And it seems as this number might actually be an underestimate.
Wow.
So it's happening wherever birds and glass coexist.
Which is pretty much everywhere.
It's pretty much everywhere, yeah.
So what would this Federal Bird Safe Buildings Act do?
The Federal Bird Safe Buildings Act would direct the General Services Administration, which is the part of the government that is in charge of federal buildings, to develop a set of guidelines for new buildings and for substantial renovations of buildings so that they would be bird friendly.
Some buildings exempt from this, but many are covered, right?
Yes, that's right. There are parts of the federal government that have their own programs, like the Department of Defense. They manage their own buildings, but the GSA is in charge of most of them.
Well, I believe that a similar bill was put forward in 2023 that didn't go far. Is this one different?
This bill has been proposed many times. It's actually passed the House on at least one occasion. But as we know, Congress has been pretty busy with other things lately, and we've never managed to get it passed by both houses.
Going back to the big picture about window crashes, we know that skyscrapers are the site of a lot of crashes, especially during migration. Many cities have implemented lights out programs and other mitigations to help reduce the numbers. But is it fair to say that given the tens of millions of private homes in the U.S., that our homes are the biggest part of the problem?
Homes account for nearly half of collisions. Skyscrapers actually account for very few. Most collisions take place in what you'd call the bird activity zone. So from the ground up to the top of the trees. And it's glass that reflects that kind of vegetation that's especially dangerous because birds don't understand the concept of glass, and they will fly toward the reflection of a tree just as easily as they'll fly toward a real tree. So collisions on homes accounts for almost 50% of that, over 1 billion collisions, and most of the rest are on buildings up to about 11 stories or tops of the trees.
So returning to the Federal Bird Safe Buildings Act bill, from what I've read, this new bill's chances of passing seem pretty slim, but is there hope for the bill? And if not, is there a plan B?
We hope that we'll be able to move the bill forward this year. What we really need is a co-sponsor in the Senate. This is a bipartisan bill. Mm-hmm. We have Republican and Democratic sponsors in the House, and we have a Democratic senator, Cory Booker, but we are looking for a Republican co-sponsor.
Dr. Christine Shepherd is the Glass Collisions Program Director for the American Bird Conservancy. Chris, thanks for being with us, and I hope we'll get some good news about this bill. Or
I hope so too. Thanks for having me.
Maybe its successor, if need be. By the way, the American Bird Conservancy's website, abcbirds.org, has tons of information about how we can all make sure that our homes are not places where bird collisions occur. And that's, again, abcbirds.org. Dr. Christine Shepherd here on Talkin' Birds. And up next, it's our Mystery Bird contest in just 1 minute.
The flutter of a tail feather, the flash of a wing bar in mid-flight. You don't always have a lot of time to identify a bird in nature, let alone to appreciate its beauty. But with Vortex Optics, you'll have the power to bring every wild moment closer. When you choose Vortex, you're choosing to have a partner in the field as passionate about nature as you are. Whether you're spotting old friends on the backyard feeder or packing for a once-in-a-lifetime trip to add a few species to your life list, Vortex offers a full range of optics and optics accessories for every birder and every budget. And whether the birds are taking you to another state or another country, you're always covered by the Vortex VIP warranty, an unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. If you'd like to learn more, or if you need help choosing your next optic, give Vortex a call at 1-800-4VORTEX or visit vortexoptics.com.
Didn't want to interrupt them there. It's a pair of mystery birds there. Pretty familiar sound, I think, to a lot of people. Let's see how familiar it is to a caller on our Mystery Bird contest. Here's some info about that bird. Carrying over from last week's Raptor weekend down in Rhode Island, our mystery bird is a raptor and a fairly large and large-headed member of the Strigidae family. It has large brown eyes, concentric rings around its pale face. No ear tufts. It has underparts that are whitish with dark bars and streaks on the breast and belly. Our bird is a year-round resident over all of the eastern half of the U.S., as well as parts of the Northwest and up through much of Canada. It hunts from an elevated perch and swoops down to catch prey like squirrels and mice, as well as amphibians and reptiles and birds, and that is our mystery bird. Beautiful prizes, as we described earlier, the Brome Squirrel Solution 150 feeder. A great feeder that is genuinely squirrel-proof and chew-proof. It's easy to clean. It features a vented seed tray to keep the seed fresh and dry. And we have a birding by ear course from Larkwire in the Larkwire app. Highly customizable game-based courses that let you master bird sounds and have fun in the process. Prizes there on our Mystery Bird contest, and the number to call is this one, 781-837-4900. I don't think I gave it earlier, so let me do it again. 781-837-4900. 837-4900. Meanwhile, we'll bust some myths about birds with a Let's Ask Mike, almost live from the archive segment. Let's Ask Mike in just 1 minute.
Wildlife around the globe needs help. And when you help protect them, you become a friend of the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance, a real friend. The kind of friend you want to thank. And not just with a card or a text, but with a song.
Thank you for being a friend.
Travel down the road and back again.
Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant.
Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend.
From your friends at the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance, thank you for helping protect wildlife around the globe. Without you, there's no them. Learn more at sdzwa.org/friend.
Thank you for being a friend.
Are we hearing our music? You know what? I've just switched headphones here, and that was a terrible mistake. I'm going to go back to this other set of headphones. That's so much better. But tolerating all of this, we hope, is Mike O'Connor down there at the famous Birdwatchers General Store on Cape Cod in Massachusetts. Hello, Mike.
Well, what a rookie. I can't believe it. What a rookie out there.
Hey, give us a chance. We're just getting started, and, we're going to make a few mistakes along the way. So
You'll get that. You'll get it.
I appreciate your patience on that. Well, Mike, you've exploded a number of myths about birds here in the show. You have some new myths concerning hummingbirds and also rice. Am I right?
It's all going on. Yeah, and first I want to give a shout-out to Gene and her friends from Wisconsin who came in, stopped in, big Talking Birds listeners, and they came in and the big bird store in Cape Cod and loved the show, and they came in and chatted with us, and they did some birding, and shout out to those guys. Thanks for stopping by. Ray, they hear you in Wisconsin. Can you believe it?
That is nice, and that's a long way from where we are, so I don't know how that works, but it's amazing.
It must come in the mail or something.
So myths.
So anyway, this is the time of year, big migration going on that you just mentioned earlier. Birds are migrating now, and a lot of people worry. And this won't go away, this will never stop, that if you leave your hummingbird feeders out, the birds won't migrate. And that has to stop because the birds are going to migrate no matter what. They're just going to pass through. So you can leave your hummingbird feeders out as long as you want to maintain them, and that's fine. And a bird will stop and drink and continue on. Occasionally, a lost bird will hang around and use it for survival, but that just keeps the bird alive. It doesn't prevent it from migrating. That bird is mixed up to begin with. So that's just one myth that we talk about every year, but that's fine. Another one that I kind of forgot about because my anniversary is coming up, and my wedding anniversary, and people used to throw rice at weddings. Yeah. And then this myth started. This was years before the internet, when once a mistruth occurred, it got passed on, and there was no way of fact-checking it, and that was throwing rice at weddings. And because rice expands when it's cooked, they thought birds would eat it, and then it'd explode because all this rice would expand in their stomachs. And it became such a thing that the state of Connecticut tried to ban throwing rice at weddings over concerns of the birds. Their heart was in the right place, but in fact, it's just stupid because birds have been eating rice forever. Bobolinks, especially down south, they eat rice all the time. It gets ground up in the gizzard. It doesn't explode, and you can throw rice at weddings if you'd like to. But there's alternatives. If you don't want to throw rice anymore, people throw confetti, which is stupid because it's just trash. Bubbles, they recommend bubbles, but that just blows the wrong way. I tell people throw birdseed at weddings. That's a perfect idea. The birds, you throw it, it annoys the wedding couples, and then the birds come and clean it up as soon as everybody leaves. And if you come by my store and you're getting married, I'll give you free birdseed to throw at your own wedding. So there you go. Wow. That's an exciting.
Such a deal. Myths exploded and practical advice given. Once again, Mike, thank you so much, and we will talk to you next week.
Woohoo! Okay. See you. Bye.
And happy anniversary, Mike, to you and the missus. I think we're pretty close on that date, and I know for sure we're back to the Mystery Bird Contest, for sure. familiar sound. A pair of mystery birds right there. A raptor and a fairly large and large-headed member of the Strigidae family, large brown eyes, concentric rings around its pale face, and no ear tufts. A year-round resident over the eastern half of the U.S., pretty much, and parts of the Northwest and much of Canada. What is that mystery bird? At 781-837-4900, and I believe we have Brad in the land of 10,000 lakes, Minnesota. Hello, Brad.
Hi, Ray.
Also known as the North Star State. Which do you prefer?
I think I like the 10,000 lakes.
I like the 10,000. Well, it's also the Gopher State. You probably don't want to pick that one.
No.
Nothing wrong with it. Oh, well, anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm an ambassador, just to let you know.
Well, thank you for that. Brad is a Talking Birds ambassador, in case you missed that. Thank you, Brad. And we have the mystery bird here, and you've just heard the sound of the bird and some clues and all of that. And what would be your conclusion, Brad?
The barred owl.
The barred owl is exactly. The barred owl is the bird. Well, you're not in the Pacific Northwest exactly, but you've probably heard about the big controversy out in the Northwest where barred owls are displacing and hybridizing with northern and California spotted owls, which are their slightly smaller and less aggressive cousins. And the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service has created a controversial plan that permits the targeted lethal removal of barred owls to reduce the competition with those spotted owls. I don't know. It seems like there ought to be a better way, but that's what's happening, at least for the time being, although I think there's a lot of protesting going on about that. Well, Brad, congratulations on that. And we have time for a bonus question. Would you be interested in that?
Let's give it a go.
All right. We're not too far away from Halloween. I mean, certainly retailers have been preparing for quite a while. So this is kind of an early Halloween question. I should say it's not about birds, although we've kind of made it into something about birds in a way, as you'll see. So we hear about goblins around Halloween. But what is a goblin? Is it A, a female ghost, B, a friendly trickster from English and Scottish folklore, C, a type of ghoulish carved pumpkin, or D, a godwit relative that only migrates on All Hallows Eve, a.k.a. Halloween? One of those four there.
I'm going to guess.
Yeah. Which number letter was that again?
B as in bird.
B as in birds, a friendly trickster from English and Scottish folklore. And that is actually correct.
Hey!
Yeah. Brad, you are 2 for 2. You are just on a roll there altogether.
It's perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Brad. Thank you for being a Talking Birds ambassador. And stay on the line. Jesse will get your info.
All right. Appreciate it, Ray. Thank you.
Thank you, Brad. There in Minnesota, correctly identifying the barred owl as our mystery bird this morning. We're out of time for this morning, but before we go, very special thanks to Heather and Henry Sexton and Tom Doig for hosting our Talking Birds table at the Urban Birding Festival in Chicago this weekend. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Henry. Thank you, Tom. And meanwhile, here on the show next week, we'll welcome one of the organizers of the International Crane Festival, which will be held in November in Baraboo, Wisconsin. Thanks to our amazing Talking Birds team, Debbie Bleacher, Freya McGregor, our producing engineer, Jesse Wilkins. I'm Ray Brown, reminding you that you can enter next week's Mystery Bird Contest no matter where you are on planet Earth if you listen live. And that's easy to do via the Listen tab at talkingbirds.com. See you next week.
The bird show, I like that.
Ray Brown's Talking Birds.
Made possible by the generous support of the Birdwatchers General Store, Orleans, Cape Cod. Birdwatchersgeneralstore.com.
By Vortex Optics with the VIP warranty. Their unlimited lifetime promise to keep you and your optic covered. Learn more at vortexoptics.com. And by Hog Island Audubon Camp. For full camp schedule, program details, and to register, visit hogisland.audubon.org.